Welcome, everybody. This is Rafa once again coming to you with Mystic Times. I am extremely happy today to have a very special guest. This meeting has been on the works for some time, and finally it's happened. So actually, I don't really know how to pronounce your name, so you're going to have to maybe correct me. But for now, let's just say with me today is Eirlys. Yes, very good. She's how to describe it? She's well, maybe she can describe herself. But what I want to say before we start is that we share a passion for music and for sound and for healing, uh, and it's a great pleasure to have her here because I really value and appreciate her courage. You know, because of what she does. It's not. It's probably not easy to like put yourself out there with uh, light languages, light codes, which are kind of the things that I know you most for. Maybe there's a few other things that you do, and you can tell us about that. Uh, and being brave enough to put yourself out there with these kinds of ethereal ways of singing or of expressing your voice. So I'm very thankful for you to put yourself out there in that way. And welcome to Mystic Times. How are you, Eirlys?
Hello, I'm doing good. Being here with you. And thank you for saying all of that. Um, I and that's also what I feel like um, being courageous to just be who we are or be who I am and to actually share that and express it out to the world, whatever that may be, because many people think you're crazy when you do that. And I am a bit crazy,
Why would they
but
think that, right?
only the good crazy. Yeah, why would I think I'm crazy when I'm doing light language? um yeah.
Okay, very good. I was taking notes.
Yeah.
So for starters, since we this is the first time we meet, I would really love to know a little bit more about your journey. I don't know what, and eventually to learn how you discovered this connection with the light codes and or whatever you call them, and in particular, uh, what do you think is happening when you're doing that, and maybe as well for the audience who might not know, tell us a little bit about what that is, and maybe we can share a video. I was just checking out your YouTube, and you have some of your music there. We could maybe give a sample for people, but yeah, tell us a little bit.
Yeah. So for people who doesn't know who I am Eirlys, or you can say Eirlys, which most say. Um, I'm creating music, expressing music, and I'm creating light codes. And I'm also doing light language, which is kind of on the rise now. Like so many people start doing it, and I just love that. It's kind of like a new human tech, which I guess we will talk about more later on. Um, and so I create this. What I create is channeled in the moment, and it's very ethereal, very often very spacey. And when I create music, I get in touch with different dimensions and realms. And this is what I share, express. So it's kind of like a bridge to these realms and dimensions when I do that. And it's my way also with light language and drawing light codes, which I haven't shared too much yet. The light codes I'm drawing. It's my way to actually thrive here on earth. It's my way to bring down what I am into this earthly realm. So I don't feel very much connected to Earth, as I know I am not human, as some of us are not human. Kind of like it seems like I'm human because you have this flesh, but inside of this you have like what is it, 99.99% just nothing. So this is what I am, the 99.99%, as you are too. And that is not human. Yeah. And I just, so the listeners know, I may start to answer a question and then suddenly we're in a whole different other place. That's just how it is. So I hope you follow.
Yeah, I think those who listen to the show are kind of used to that, because I'm kind of the same way. Uh,
I
and
love
and
that.
and even with guests, sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, maybe I think we're gonna talk about a certain thing, and suddenly in conversation something more more present comes up, and or more resonant with the moment, let's say, and we'll go through of a tangent, and then suddenly another and another, and we end up talking about nothing but about everything but the original topic of conversation, which I really like. I really prefer to do these kinds of conversations rather than just interviews, because for interviews, maybe I don't know if in your case, if you've done many guest appearances on other shows, but most of the people that I have on, they've already been on other shows, and if you want to know about the typical things that they talk about, there's other places. I really don't want to have a show that is like a copy or a photocopy or a repetition of another conversation. I'd rather like go to new places with people. I've even had people like who, for example, they are most known for their work on ancient civilizations, like extreme human antiquity of like millions of years, and very old and weird stuff, and we end up talking about their spiritual life, and their spiritual practices, and the spiritual journey that they've been through, that in part what is connected and has gone through the work that they do. But I think those aspects are more interesting, even because of how rare it is to get people to talk about those things.
Yes, and I love that. And I feel that with you too. It's very easy to talk to you. And yeah, so do you know about human design?
Yeah, I do.
You do.
Yeah,
Do you want to say what you are?
yeah, I'm a projector.
I knew it. I'm a projector too.
You are too.
I'm a self-projected projector. For those who doesn't know about human design, just go check it out. It's pretty
I
cool.
actually I have an episode on that, which you guys can. I actually have two. So yeah, look for that in the. I think it's a playlist called Know Yourself. You can find that in the
Mm.
channel. Yeah.
Wow. So what more are you? What kind of projector?
Splenic, I think is a word.
Yeah.
Spleen. Yeah.
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 What kind of the numbers?
No, I'm not that deep into the
Or
thing. Yeah.
I'm very deep into
I
that.
could find them if you think it's worthy. Uh,
Oh no, it's okay.
but
It's okay.
I don't remember them by memory.
Yeah. So for the listeners, because when you're interested in this, you may be very interested. So I'm a self-projected projector with a 1-3 profile. So with a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
open centers.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I now I remember what you're talking about. I'm martyr heretic, so I think it's 3-5 or 2-5, something like that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
could I could verify. Yeah, you can
Hmm.
continue talking, and I'll look for that in
Yeah.
the meantime.
So I can just tell about self-projected projector.
Yeah.
So it's love to talk and figure things out while they talk. So I love to talk. Don't know much more I have to say about that. The 1-3 profile is very love to research and figure things out. So I am I love to going very deep into
Mm.
things, and like I love niches, like niches. Is that how it is said in English?
I think so. I'm not what's the name? I actually my language, my first language is Spanish.
Oh.
So let me ask you this. Where are you from? Where are you from? I know from your name, I can imagine it's something very, very cold right now in the north.
Yeah, I come from Norway
Uh-huh,
and I
cool.
live in Norway now also. So from the
Yeah.
fjords and the
Mm.
mountains.
Oh, here I am, Rafa, my graph. View. Oh, my numbers. Let me see. Projector 3 5. Yeah.
Mm, okay.
Does
Yeah.
that mean anything to you?
Um, I kind of have researched my friends and mine, and I don't think any of my friends are 3 5. So
Well, if we become friends, you will have a 3 5 friend now.
yes, you then you will definitely.
Yeah. So why did we come with this? We were talking about, I don't know. Oh yeah,
I
that
don't.
that we
I
might
think it.
go down
Yeah, it was.
tangents. Yeah,
It jumped into my head. I don't know why.
that's also, yeah. And
And that's how everything jumps into my
yeah.
head.
So you were, oh, I know, you were talking about the 99.99% void, which is what you are, which is what we are,
Mm.
rather than human. Yeah, you were kind of on that thread.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
And so I'm originally a professional pianist,
Hmm.
but I kind of started doing all kinds of things instead. So I started doing the harp and singing and doing all kinds of instruments that just sounded amazing. And that is also when I started uh, sharing my music in that way. Very simple, sad, very easy. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So, and when did the light codes start showing up for you, or how was that that how was that? How does that happen for somebody?
So, yeah. Mm, you know, very many people actually did light language, which is a multidimensional language. Your soul knows it and you feel it. You feel it by a knowing. And so, very many did this when we were small, when we were speaking gibberish. And also, just for clarification, it's a difference between gibberish and light language. And the difference is you feel the energy. So, did that when I was small. And I've also been fascinated with making my own language because I have had difficulties and challenges with kind of communicating what I want to communicate. To find words for it has always been challenging for me. So that's why music and also making my own languages has been an interesting thing because I figured out it was easier to say what I wanted to say in that way. Um, and it also started like a bit more conscious when in 2000, I don't know, I started to incorporate it into my music, but I didn't know what it was. And I remember I put out something on Instagram and I said, "Oh, I don't know what this language is, but I love it." I just felt like saying it. And then someone said to me, "But this is light language." And I was like, "What is that?" And I had to go check. And I was just fascinated. And oh, this is what I've been doing for so long. And then now started to incorporate it into my music. So then from there, it was kind of like to really get into the light language, you have to let go of a lot of barriers because, firstly, you may have your own kind of ideas about yourself when you're doing it because it may sound strange. And you have to let go of the control. You can't like this. I want this to sound pretty or whatever. It will just carry itself. And also, if you want to share it, there's a lot of barriers there. You have to let go of the people will think you are weird and crazy. So you have to let go of that. And it's all also kind of being in an aligned state, being in a meditative state when you're doing that. So that's also kind of the more aligned you're able to be with what you want to kind of, what aspects of yourself would I say you want to come through. You have to be kind of aligned to that. So that's a deepening, being aligned, um, and to kind of be able to hold that or hold it for a longer time. So the light codes actually just came for about, I've always loved painting and drawing and everything, but the light codes came for about only a half a year ago. It was just so sudden. It was a way for me to also kind of get down the realms and dimensions I see when I play and when I'm in a meditative state or in the night, to kind of, this is the world, this is the realm. And for me, the light codes are vibrating with music and sounds, which I also experience when I go to these different realms and dimensions. They have each their music. And I know this is so cool because this is not only me who have experienced this. People who have had near death experiences hear music. And people who do astral travel, they hear music when they go through a portal. Or, and also people can say that they heard music when they were dreaming. Most likely, not, not only that, but you may have been in another realm.
Well, I was
So
just thinking about that, and maybe it's not the same thing. We could say maybe when you're dreaming, it's something that's produced by your mind, more than than when you're perhaps channeling light codes. But who knows, right? I remember you reminded me. I had this dream once, and I was close to waking up. So when I have most clarity and presence in my dreams is when I am close to waking up. So I was about to wake up, but I was asleep, and this song started playing in my dream, and I was like really enjoying it. And suddenly I realized, oh wow, this is a Michael Jackson song. But this song, I don't know it. This doesn't exist. So I woke up and I had the song in my head, and I continued singing it throughout the day. I don't remember it now, but it was actually kind of like a Michael Jackson kind of song that came to me in a dream, but it wasn't a real one. You know what I mean?
yeah, this is another topic I love and have went deep down in. As I said, I'm a 1-3 and a self-projected projector and everything else I am. I love to deep dive into things. And so dreaming and astral traveling and lucid dreaming, being conscious in your dreams, and astral traveling being you actually going out of your body. You're not just, you actually go out of your body. This is one of my main favorite topics. And so I can just say, for your dream, it may actually have been, yes, your subconscious, but it can also have been like a melt with different things, because we all lucid dream, we all astral travel, but we forget it, most of us, because we have learned that doesn't exist. You can't do that, you know, when growing up and stuff, because we did that when we were small. And so it's kind of like you forget about it. But then these astral travels and lucid dreaming may have melted into your dreaming too. So it seems like it was a dream, but it might have been like different things you have been experiencing that night. So actually could be you actually channeled something, kind of. That's cool.
Yeah, and there's this musician, it's a guitarist called Joe Satriani, which which I really like his music, his style. And there's a song that he released, I don't know, a couple of years ago, that I think it's
Mm.
called Dream Song or something like that, or maybe
Mm.
it's got another name, but I know that from the story at the least. He says it's a song that came to him in a dream, and then he was able to put it down even and play it on his guitar, and wow, that would be literally a dream come true.
That's so cool, because the thing is, when you everyone can learn to lucid dream again, or just remember them, and also to astral travel, and you can do these amazing things. And it's just about actually starting to remember your dreams, to kind of, when you wake up in the night and you're like very tired, you actually have a book with at your bed, and you just write down what you remembered. If you don't remember anything, you just write, I know I dreamt, but I don't know what yet. Maybe you remember a chair. I remember a chair. Or maybe you remember the color pink. Or you just have this feeling of your mom. So I just have this feeling of my mom. And when you do that, you start to remember more and more and more, also every morning. And when you do that, you will start to get a more conscious um, connection with your dreams. And
Mm.
that's when it can start to get really interesting. And you can also have more of these where you hear music and you can go and play it, compose it. Yeah.
Yeah, I I haven't, well, that I remember, of course. No astral travels or lucid. I mean, it's hard for me to like how I've been investigated and researched a bunch on both things, and like these dreams. I also have a few episodes with Jennifer uh, Jennifer Dumper, um, who wrote a book about liminal dreaming. Is the name of the book. You might like it. She talks about specifically the stages before waking up and before falling asleep. So those are known as liminal stages, where I think it's hypnagogia and hypnopompia. I don't remember
Mm.
which is which. And she talks about the stuff that comes to people during those periods, and it's really interesting. And we talked a lot about dreaming, and I've investigated and researched it a lot, but I'm still not very clear on whether the things I remember could be cataloged as lucid dreams or not. Could you give me kind of what's your interpretation of a lucid dream? What is a lucid dream?
So when you have a conscious lucid dream and you're also able to really remember it, you will know that you're lucid dreamed because you woke up in your dream and you were conscious. So you knew that I am actually dreaming. And then you can start to go and just observe your dream, or you
Mm,
can talk to your dream, like ask questions. Um, and you can fly, you can do all kinds of things you can imagine. So you will probably wake up when you're in a lucid dreaming, and you just feel this pull of, I'm coming back to my body where I'm sleeping. And then you wake up and, oh, I was lucid dreaming.
mm.
um but sometimes they'll, when you're lucid dreaming, because your dreams change often, so that might happen that you lucid dream, you're conscious in your dream, you woke up and you, oh, I'm dreaming, and you can do all kinds of things, and then the dream is changing, and in that changing you may also lose, kind of
Yeah,
forget that you're actually dreaming.
your ground or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
your anchor.
uh,
So just remembering your dreams, is that enough to consider that the dream that you remember was lucid?
so
or does it require that you also, while you are dreaming, you need to kind of have the thought, I am dreaming, and stay in the dream? Is those two things necessary?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
when you're this can actually be a dream, we
Yeah.
talking, or the people's looking at us. You might be dreaming right now. So what I want you all to do, because this dreaming seems as real as this, that's actually pretty cool. So what you want to do is actually to look at your hands and count them, and then you take it away, and then you look at it again, and you count your fingers and look at, like, does it seem like your hand? Does it have 5 fingers? And if you're dreaming, your brain are not able to kind of show that hand in the exact same way. So that's when you can get awake in your dream.
Mhm.
And it will actually feel as real as taking on this, like touching this leaf. And will feel as real as also like everything will feel
Mhm.
as real as.
For
That was
me,
the first thing I did
mm,
in my lucid dream. I was like, wow.
for me, in a certain sense, I feel like I'm close to being able, because, like I said, there's these dreams that they happen close to when I'm waking up. I don't know if they're exactly in the this liminal stage. I think it's kind of even before that. Uh, and there's like this moment where kind of my awareness, my brain turns on, and I can feel like people thinking that's just dreaming, man. No, but I want to try to describe it to see if it feels different to simply dreaming. But at the same time,
Mm.
it's like, of course, if you wake up and you recall a dream in a certain way, you were lucid during the dream because you remember it. But I don't know, maybe people remember having dreamt it, but during the dream, they don't they don't necessarily remember I am having language, having been in a dream. Maybe they don't remember that, but when they wake up, they remember. Yeah, I dreamt. But what happens to me is, while in the dream, I start becoming aware. Like I wake up inside the dream, but what I'm having trouble with is having enough. I don't know what it could be, the will or the presence or whatever, to like have the thought this is a dream, but I feel it kind of lingering somewhere behind me, this is a dream, but I don't exactly consciously have that thought. So that's why I feel I'm kind of close to a breakthrough, maybe.
and and that is what is called semi lucid.
Of course there's a term for that. Semi.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
I was like, yeah, I know what it is.
Like, I would love to fly in a dream, but I've never gotten anywhere near to like directing the movie, let's say. I'm more like
Yeah.
observing the dream. It kind of has an emotional effect on me, but at the same time there is some distance. I'm like, yeah, okay, but this is something. It's like at a certain point something illogical maybe happens, and there, I guess, part of the brain wakes up, and then I'm like, huh, something illogical just happened.
Yeah.
All the rest that's happening now feels kind of okay, but there was
Mm.
something that woke me up, but I'm
And
still
this
in
is,
the dream.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is the thing with semi lucid. Like
Okay,
you
cool.
look in, observe your dream, and like, that is very strange. Like, why is that leaf blue? It doesn't usually are blue. Or why do I mean why am I with my grandma? She's dead. But it's like those,
Yeah.
or why am I being with Michael Jackson?
Yeah,
That's very strange.
this song is new. I don't Michael Jackson, how can he make this song? This I've never heard of this song before. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like being semi-lucid. You're so
Mm,
close to being lucid. So you're actually just, it's just a, you know,
very close.
whenever you go to bed, and this, I do this every night, even though whatever I'll do at night, I have an intention.
Right.
Like, I have a specific specific question, or it may be a specific thing I want to experience when I lucid. So it may be going lucid. I'm like, I want to fly. When I'm going lucid and I know I'm dreaming, I'm conscious about it, I will just whoosh, try to fly. I do that sometimes on the day too. Like, can I fly now? No. Okay, I'm not. I'm not dreaming.
But life, you mentioned before, and we've talked about stuff like this in the show with other people. Life, there's this practice that I've been doing for a long time, and some time ago I heard one of the guys that's been on the show on his own YouTube. He mentioned this practice and he called it dream walking, I think is the name he gave it, which is this idea of living your life, the way I describe it at least, living your life understanding that everything that comes into your experience is a symbol of something that's going on inside of you. So it's like the universe is talking to you through symbols, through coincidences, synchronicities, accidents, whatever, the people that you cross in the street and you hear a certain phrase and it connects with something that's going on with you, even the numbers in the license plates of the cars, or whatever is happening, even the people that you meet, it's like there is this resonance. I mean, you can't have an experience that you are not in resonance with,
It's
not
it's like a string. Like
correct.
we two are musicians, and it's very easy. Like it's a string. So like
Yeah,
uh, two tuning forks too. Like you have to have the same frequency for that to
correct.
also vibrate. Yeah,
Yeah.
or else
and
it's impossible.
and the things are coming into our experience to teach us something, to call our attention to something, right? And I even had this, I'm gonna let you talk just so you know, but I'm an Aquarius, so I like to talk as well.
Yeah. Keep on.
All right, cool. So yeah, and again I do this and now I forget what I was talking about. um this is crazy.
Happens to me
Yeah.
also.
um I was kind of feeling shame for monopolizing the conversation. I've had a few comments, not a few, just a couple, saying the interviewer interviews himself. I had in one in one show.
So, well, that would be totally me if I did interviews.
That's so cruel, because actually if I don't have a second person with me, it's kind of hard for me to like just pick up the microphone and start talking about something. But then I have somebody and I talk over them. So excuse me for that. But on the other hand, people like you and me, that of course they are listening to the show as well. They can appreciate that, because I mean, many of us are this way. We get excited with talking about all of these subjects, and finding somebody that understands you, and being able to share. Oh, I remembered. Okay, that's how you do it. You talk about something else. I had this, and this is what I wanted to share before I I pass the microphone on to you. I had this mushroom ceremony, let's call it,
Mm.
where in one of the visions, or in a certain point of the journey, this vision was of like many arrows. They were all like neon colors, and with lights, and it kind of like Las Vegas, this idea we have of Las Vegas with signs all over the place, or
Mm.
Madison, whatever, in New York. This whole place, lots of lights, but I started to realize, oh, it's all arrows, and then I realized all the arrows are pointing at me, right? So the message that I got from that, the understanding that gave me, was it's all about you. It's like we get distracted with the million things that happen. Maybe some people will get distracted with things that are very triggering, like politics or family or relationships, or even harder, or I don't want to compare things, but stuff maybe like health or finances, etc. but we tend to get, your neighbors or society and the
Mm,
conspiracies and the this and the that, and we get lost in pointing fingers at
mm,
everything. But what this vision told me is that actually the things are actually pointing at you. We point at them, but it's them pointing at us, telling us, you have the power, you have the responsibility, you have the
mm,
ability. It's all about
mm,
you. And
mm,
not in a narcissistic sense, or in a
mm.
um synapsistic, what's this word, like, that people think everything is a dream and nobody
Like,
exists. Solipsistic. Yeah.
mm,
So it's not in a way that, oh, nothing else matters, so you can just go out there and do whatever to others. No, of course not. But whatever you are doing, that, and however you're feeling, that's the most important thing. Is this dream was telling, or this vision was telling me, it's all about you.
mm.
You're it. And I think it connects to what we were just talking. And I'll shut up for a few minutes.
Yeah. Uh, of course, just talk, it goes where it goes. And I love that. And I also love talking about distractions because it's kind of like we have so many distractions today, but to know the distractions is not only, all the screens and the drama happening in the world and your neighbor, your family. It's also when you're going inwards and you're kind of finding the stillness or find the alignment with yourself. There's so many distractions to go there. Also with channeling, you have so many things distracting you. You have uh, like bloodline from your own family, that can come up. You have ancestral things that is like way back who are affecting you to be distracted, like kind of pulling in you. You have to do this. You have to think this thought. You have to do this. And then you also have this invisible realm around you with these beings that are not physical, which may want something from you, want to put in a thought or something. So for me, what I have like really, this is something I'm deep diving into now with my music. Um, it's like how to not have these distractions. It's kind of like putting yourself into a 0 point energy, kind of. That's just what came up I wanted to say. And that it is your kind of to be aligned with a divine intention, the divine focus, because you need to know precisely where you need to focus. So instead of having a human agenda of that focus, because that human agenda may actually not be yours, it can be your bloodline or your uh, traumas, or it could be your other beings. So trying to really hold on this line I'm doing now. So to have this divine intention, and that is also to like really just surrender and to trust that there is a divine intention, there is a divine intervention, there is a divine purpose. So when you have this divine focus or intention, you can align with that. For me, that's stillness. And it's also driving you kind of, with your sail going where you're supposed to be, but you don't exactly know where that will be, but you just trust because you know that. But I just know.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And in life, you get the opportunity to practice this, in order to, at least that's how it was for me, in order to begin to trust in this divine, in this divine intention and divine direction. uh, learning to discern it from your own thoughts, or what might be your own thoughts, or maybe, like you said, uh, imprints from certain conditionings. Learning to
Yeah,
discern
that's the
that,
word,
yeah,
conditionings.
to discern that from this other feminine, pure, flowing thing that's just there. For me, this connects with being a splenic projector, because as I've understood it, splenic projectors, we get a kind of an, I think they call it even different from an intuition. They call it an instinct. It's like suddenly you're contemplating something, and you get like a yes or a no, like automatically in the moment, right?
Mm.
And you, through practice, you learn to hear and to know how that feels, and then you start trusting through taking decisions. When you think, okay, yeah, I think this is it, you make the decision, and you see the outcome,
Mm.
and you start realizing, oh, when I follow that, uh, things tend to flow more, and when I doubt it, tends to be a little bit more uh, rough, a rough road. And I
Yeah.
think it's the same way with this thing that you're sharing, with this divine thing.
Yeah, and it's always a lot of perspectives to see it on, and to also know that we are all different. So it works in different ways for us, and we are the only one who has the answer for us of how that works for us. And it may be like um was not tempting to start that journey, to know what that divine intuition is for you, or intention, because where to start. But it's really easy, like you say, it's just to like start recognizing where is it, and then
Hmm.
it will be more like this in the start, and then it will be more and more like this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I I learned a few years ago Akashic records readings, and
Yeah.
and at the start, it's incredible how many different, it's not voices, no need to bring the psychiatrist. It's just but we could describe it as voices. There's different flavors and textures and intentions, and different pulling thoughts, and so you learn to discern which is the let's say the Akashic records information that's coming through, and which is uh, just something that your mind is coloring over the the clean message from the Akash. And that's also an amazing practice to develop this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so very important, which I would say is discernment to and today I may say that may be one of the most important things to develop, the
Yeah,
discernment,
I agree.
because you have you don't maybe have so many gurus today, like big gurus, but you have so many, you have like social media, different people telling you different things, like different rules. It's kind of like you you have the normal people kind of like living the normal life, and they are in this prison or box, and then it's kind of like you're reading a book with rules, and maybe a self-development book or a spiritual book, and then you're like, oh, I was living in a prison.
Mhm.
Oh, then let's make a house, and you make a house, and then you read a new book and you figure out, oh, but this house was a prison too. I just made a bigger prison, and then, oh, I should make a castle. Then you figure out this castle is also a prison. It's like discerning, really, you know the answer, you are the one to know the answer, and it's, you have this unique perspective from God. And I don't mean that as a religious way to see it. I really mean God as all, as one. We into this body have a unique perspective. It's kind of like we came down here to our bodies, to your body, to kind of find an answer that God asked. Like, we're asking this question, God, we, and then I came down into this body with this perspective because that perspective was supposed to be that answer. Like, your perspective in your body was supposed to be another answer from God or from us who asked that question. So it's kind of like you are the only one who know that answer. You are answering God, but you're answering God just by living. It's really simple.
Yeah, you know what comes to me is you are the answer. You know, your life, your experience, whatever is going, and this connects with the vision from the mushrooms. You know, you are the answer, and the it's the paradox that in order to look for an answer, God had to incarnate into different perspectives that think that the answer is a point where the answer is the whole journey. You know, it's that paradox that the mind and the ego will want to find, and I have this dichotomy within myself. You know, I have a pretty strong Capricorn side of me, and I also have the Aquarius, so my rising sign and my sun, and there's this part of me that and I've been able to tame it and allow it to have its thoughts but not pay attention to them. It's like it was always looking for the thing. It's like, okay, it's like it wanted things to come to a conclusion, let's say, and oh, it's this. And when you get there, it's like every every uh, every finite answer that you get to is actually a door into a whole new realm of infinite more questions, and an answer will never satisfy your curiosity. That's why the stillness and the void is so important to get in touch with, because it's never gonna simply be enough, you know, just an answer. And I think you're frozen. Let me just pause the recording.
Uh, oh,
Oh, there we go. You froze for me. So if
oh,
you were
you did
saying
too.
something, oh,
You
cool.
did too. I will just check. I am on the best internet. Yes.
Yeah,
So for me, it's okay. We
go
should
ahead
start
with
the
what you were
recording.
saying.
Oh, you have recorded again
Yeah,
now.
it's already on.
Okay. It fell out. Him sitting in a new way. So my hips are happy. Um, about the a friend of mine said this, and this is a thing I've been reflecting on too. And he said, okay, so maybe God or source doesn't have all of the answers, I mean, also the questions, doesn't have all the answers. And then I also saw this documentary about plant medicine, and one guy who had did this for like 60 70 times ayahuasca to kind of, he wanted to know the answer. And he said him and also so many others who had like done it so many times, like it's crazy. He said that you just realize that we don't know anything. You can take as much of plant medicine or whatever, you can maybe also die and experience you as being source, and you don't know. And maybe that's why we came here, because
Yeah,
God and source doesn't even know. I find that actually very uplifting,
yeah, very funny.
because we it's kind of like then you want to take responsibility of why you came here.
Mm.
But if source already knows everything, then it's like meaningless why I came here or why we came here, because so he already knows things, and he put us, oh, God or source, I don't mean he must have him, but put us down here in this density to experience not only joy and peace, because we don't only experience joy and peace here. It's a dance world.
I'm thinking that the only particular conclusion that we can reach is that there is no particular conclusion. I mean, if we wanted to,
Yeah.
and it's paradoxical because we're and in fact, society, it's built, the way we are living today, it's built around the wrong notion that everything is finite and everything is like there is a finish line that you need to reach. There's this talk by Alan Watts.
Mm.
He describes kind of the rat race, or the big lie, or something like that. I don't know how he calls it. That when you're small, they tell you. Uh, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember it exactly, but the basic idea is when you're small, they tell you, okay, yeah, you have to reach first grade, or they tell you you have to reach sixth grade, and then you go to high school. And in high school, when you reach whatever grade, then you go to university. And when you go to university, then you get a great job and you become the CEO of a company, and then you've made it. And when you but when you get to be that CEO, suddenly you realize, oh, all the time that I spent to get here and I'm not happy. And then you start getting old, and eventually you die, and you spent all your life searching for a thing in the future. So you were never present in feeling how how life is right now for you, right? And that is
Mm.
that is such a uh, it's a cosmic joke, but at the same time, it can get annoying or depressing sometimes. And so I understand people. It's it's a journey, sometimes you're gonna, even though we have this understanding, sometimes we're gonna be on the low point of the thing, and we're gonna be like, "Ah, why why is this happening?" But then
Yeah.
eventually everything passes, and eventually you get back on top, or you discover something new that fuels your passion again. And it's just learning to ride and to surf those cycles, I guess.
Mm. I feel it's and this also with the how the world has been for a very long time um, with this pushing energy, kind of
Mm.
this forcing energy, this energy of it needs to be hard, kind of like this masculine energy, but I don't like to use that word because we have so many associations with it. But this is kind of, I feel so much that this energy is being kind of woven into even the spiritual community
Mm.
also, which is supposed to free you from that. So it's, and this is also why I say discernment is so important. So the spiritual community today, it's very interesting because when I, let's say my first awakening, when I was about 15 years old, I tried to found spiritual community on the internet and where I lived, but there almost wasn't nothing. And I couldn't tell people like this is the way I've started to go, the path I started to go now. And but today there it's everywhere and it's like popular and in which is a good thing. But also in that, there's so many um you have to do it like this, you have to do it like this. And it's kind of like having this carrot in front of you in many ways, in the same way as if you just do this, if you just do this, if you just do this, then you will be get
Mm.
awakened. So you had your first awakening. Okay, but if you just do this, you will have your second awakening.
You're 9,999 hours away from illumination. One more hour of meditation. Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm more of the finding the oneness flow and being able to align yourself to that oneness flow, which is actually effortlessly, which is effortlessly living, and that we are supposed to live in that effortlessly living. But before, that effortlessly living was not so easy to kind of be able to come to, if I would say. I feel like we had to have very strict and disciplined ways of coming to that oneness and staying there. But today, the world is so different. So it's much easier now to be able to go there. You don't have to do meditation for like 50 years all day long, like a monk. Is that what it's called? A monk. Like
Yeah, I think
the
it's a monk,
the
but yeah.
the new world is actually here now. So it's the template of the new world is here now. And the more people who are kind of aligning itself into the oneness or into the new world template, the more easy it will be for the others to also get there. So I mean, it will just be more and more effortlessly. That's also why when you are what's the word called? Ah, I can't find a word actually.
Say it
And
in what's the name of the language in Norway? Norwegian?
yeah, but
Say it in
it's
that language. Say it, say it.
actually I don't.
Ah,
That's very
okay.
strange. Like sometimes the
Mhm.
words it's and I like words and I respect them, and that's why I don't want to say the wrong word because there's so many words that have these associations and
Yeah.
tensions in it. So if I
Yeah,
say the wrong word, it's
you can try if you still got the thought in your mind, you can try describing what it means. No.
I don't have that thought in my mind. I can't even remember what I
You were
talked
talking
about.
about the template of the new world. I was actually taking notes because this is
Mm,
awesome. Yeah. The template of
yeah,
the new world is already here and tuning
yeah.
into that.
It's it's definitely already here.
Mhm.
Um,
That's amazing.
and there's because of this, it's there are new souls being able to come that kind of has these frequencies
Mm,
within them embedded in them that hasn't been here on earth
right.
before. So it's kind of like the more we humans anchor down what we really are into our bodies, embody them, and then into the earth, we're making it possible for new souls to come to have it also easier here on earth and to be able to be even more connected than than some of us may experience.
Yeah, and I think that's a natural way. It's something that just some might say, oh, it's the destiny or whatever. It's just how it works. We may get some idea that, oh, there's a catastrophe in the future or something bad is going to happen, but it's kind of like these graphs. They go up, they go down, up and down. But if you look at them from far away, you see that there is, even though there's ups and downs, there's a trend that is going up. So if we could in this example say that this new world template, is kind of pointing towards something that's very upwards. It's just the natural way that the universe works is it tends towards that place. So uh, even if people would start to become very polarized into rules, or very polarized onto the other side of just, oh yeah, let's do whatever. uh, Naturally, some people would vibrate in the center, in the middle, and would start bringing down those codes, those energies, those templates for these like new souls that you were saying. And in part, I think me, we are, uh, and most likely everybody listening right now, we are some of those souls that when we were born, uh, the collective energy allowed for our particular souls to come into this world, and today, 30 years later, whatever, being able to communicate things that are outside of the norm, you know, because we are through that opening up the space for new souls that will be even weirder than us, you know. We are very weird for some of our um, older generations, you know. And at the same time, you look at the what are the I don't know what the generation is called, but the older guys, you know, 70 whatever, 80 or whatever, you might have this idea of the guy with the suit and the whatever it's called, the briefcase, going to his job in the power plant or whatever, in the office or in Wall Street. But at the same time, you have look at the musicians from the 50s and the 60s. They were all kind of really crazy people as well. So there's always this kind of trend of people who naturally vibrate in the new world, within their time, I guess.
Mm, yeah, um, definitely. Um, I kind of didn't have a further thought on that, if you know
That's
what I
perfect.
mean.
Yeah. No, I was feeling like, again, I'm monopolizing the thing, so I'm gonna shut up. Maybe she has a reply for that, and that's okay. So let me just as we start closing, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for the thoughts and the good vibrations. Um, let me see. Okay, yeah. So what about, could you share some, in closing, some, maybe you shared some a little bit before, but some tips? Let's say people want to start trying. There's somebody that's like, here in Spanish we say a punto caramelo. It's like like, you know, when you're making caramel, is it caramel? And
Mm,
you're hitting it, and there's like this point where you gotta stop or it burns.
mm,
So there's this precise point where the transformation happens, let's say. And
mm.
there's people that probably are hearing this conversation, and they are like in that place. What is like some practice or some tips that you could share with people who are in the brink of, the brink, no, I don't like that word, in the, like, so close to like manifesting that kind of connection in their lives, or they are very interested in that and they want to know a little bit more to take this further step into the practice?
Hmm. So there's a lot of things,
Hmm.
but mm, what can I say? Just trying to like
Mm.
think of what could be beneficial to say. I think I would say to start asking questions. And when you have asked a question, to ask yourself, was that precise? If like if I would answer that, could I answer what I wanted to hear? Like ask specific, precise questions. And this is a practice, and it's very powerful. It's kind of like having an intention. So whatever you're wondering about, or if you don't know how you want your life to be, ask questions. And maybe you do know. Ask questions how to do that. And ask and ask and ask and ask. It's kind of like you're asking yourself, your subconsciousness, you're asking your higher self, you're asking whoever who kind of can help support to get an idea down into you. So when you've asked that question, you will get an answer, but you will get an answer only if you are awake and conscious. So, how are you awake and conscious? You're awake and conscious if you leave more of the distractions you have outside. So then you can also ask a question, okay, what are my distractions? So just normal distractions can be I have all these things in my phone that's always calling, like, these beeps and bops and boops from the phone. Or maybe you are distracting yourself with too much screen. Maybe you are with news and then you feel really bad when you read the news or know what's going on. I don't say that you're not supposed to know what's going on, but just think about it, how much is affecting you. And also with the people in your life, is there any are some of them distractions for you to be awake to receive the answers? And as you said in the start, but how do I know what the answer is? In what way? And as you said, but it's all the symbols around you, like the symbols in your dreams. It's like the same worlds, kind of. So in the dreams, you have dream symbols, which is a really good way to start also to know how to see the symbols around you every day. So if you see a red car in your dream, that means something, and if you see an animal in your dream, that means something. But it's also like numbers, and especially when you hear something from others or whatever, read the like synchronicity, when you hear things repeating or see things repeating, that's like a symbol, an answer. But also to not let that be a distraction so that you're trying to analyze everything.
Yeah, someone said once, uh, like it's important not to assign meaning to the symbols necessarily, in the sense of not saying, oh, it's this. I try to, when I'm open to receiving guidance or answers, whatever, and I start seeing synchronicities or different symbols, I try to not go further than, okay, I'm on the right path. That's kind of enough of an answer for me. Uh, of course, I will, because of my nature, I'll do a lot of analyzing, or, oh, maybe I'm on the path and maybe I should do this, or it's telling me that. I'm open to saying maybe, but I try not to be like absolute, like, oh yes, this means that I have to, because actually then you're putting your power on the symbol. It's like, oh, I'm doing it because the symbol told me. No, it's you, and you have to
Yes.
trust the open answer as well.
So this is the discernment again coming in. Like, the answer. There's no symbol outside of you or tarot cards that give you the answer. It can help you, it can support you, but you know the answer. So that's also a question, like, but how should it feel when I know it is an answer, when I know it is a symbol for me to go to do that, to go that way or whatever? And that's different for all. So I can't say what that is for you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So, mm, in closing, in final question, final closing, I have this question that I ask everybody on the show at the end when I remember, and I try to always remember. And the question is, what brought you? What is the no, what is the one thing that brought you to where you are?
At this point in my life, you mean? The one thing?
Yeah, you
Wow,
can answer
yeah.
it in whatever way comes. That's the question. You can answer whatever
Because
comes up.
this is I had two answers. No, it's people in my life actually. And firstly, I wanted to say my mom. And now I have to tell my mom to see this. So it's my mom because she believed in me and she started her own her own journey because she saw that I was courageous enough to go my own journey. And she saw that, wow, it's going amazing. So she started her own journey and started to believe in me. And I really to believe in others, that's so powerful, because it's kind of like you need someone else to believe in you before you can like start to even realize that, oh, I can believe in myself. And it's also my niece, which when she got born and I held her for the first time, I just felt something truly magical activating in me, which I also believe why I'm here. So those two people, wonderful, magical people, are the reason why I have, and also my boyfriend. Sorry, I have to say my boyfriend too, because he will listen to, but without him, I couldn't be here either.
That's a
It's
beautiful
like
answer.
he's doing all the organizing and planning and everything, so I can just be. And he
Mm,
loved that, and I love what I am. It's kind of like a, a beautiful mix.
yeah,
So yeah,
that's a
it was difficult, one thing, and there's
mm,
also many others. Now I'm starting like, I actually had this a couple of days. I went into this meditation of gratefulness, of
ah,
actually being grateful for all the people who had kind of helped me get here where I was. I asked the question, what was it actually? And my answer was all the people around me.
mm,
Not all, but you know, the ones who has really, it's about the ones who really believed in you. Mm. I don't know if you've experienced that. Like how incredible it can be if someone believes in you.
yeah, for sure.
Mm.
My girlfriend is my my anchor, my guiding light,
Mm.
my number one fan, and
Oh.
she always has the right thing to say. She's yeah. So yeah, I definitely know what you mean.
And I just said this actually to my boyfriend. Um, we're talking about something today I can't remember, but I told him, so the thing with me is that I'm growing very fast, like all the time, like
Mhm.
changing transformation. And so I've left a lot of friends behind, kind of, not behind, but you know what I mean, like, and I've had a lot of friends being angry at me because I do this. And it's of course because I'm transforming, but they are kind of not transforming in the, the same direction as me. And then I told my boyfriend, like, we have transformed together, and you have also
Mm.
been one of the few people in my lives which has transformed with me in this intense kind of movement forward. And I said to him, that's actually being a kind of a, that's what a strong man is, or like a healthy masculine, I feel. It's really the ones who can really actually listen to the woman, and because we have this beautiful guidance, intuitive, natural system of just seeing things, and the man who can, like, listen, and not
Yeah,
being
holding the
saying yes to
space.
everything, holding the space, yeah, not saying yes to everything, but yeah, holding the space for that to happen, and then they will also transform. So yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Mm.
So I want to please, if you would like to share where people can find you, find your sharings, and I'll share the screen. I think I have it open over here.
So you can find my music on all musical platforms under Eirlys, which I guess you will put under that.
Yeah, I'll include links to everything in the description, of course.
Yeah. And then
Sharing screen.
you have my
Here we are.
Instagram, which is there. Yes.
Mhm.
And there I do my music, and I share my light language and the Nordic nature. And sometimes I go to Costa Rica too. So, and you'll find, I also have a YouTube channel, um, which is always Eirlys Nordic Tales
I
for
love
now.
the aesthetic that you've chosen. It's so
Yes,
amazing.
I'm as you see where I'm sitting, my aesthetic is my grounding.
Mm.
It's like how I ground down into
Mm.
this earth and feel home, actually. And I have a homepage which is kind of not ready yet, but I will have a platform there where we can dwell deeper together in that space to transform and expand and anchor our higher self
Mm.
into our human body together. And I will share that on my Instagram.
Yeah,
So if you're following me there, you will get to know
that's awesome.
what's happening.
Let me. I want to share a few seconds of your stuff, but uh, I want to share with sound. How do you do this? Mm. I want people to have the experience. Oh, I gotta touch it here. Share sound, and here we go. Yeah, yeah. I hope you guys can hear it. It's really beautiful. Like you said, spacey, etheric music. Let me go to a place where you're singing. There we go. Really, thank you for sharing all of this stuff. That's just fantastic. I invite everybody to go check it out. Uh, there's a bunch of videos over here that you can find. And you know what? I also want to share. Maybe you haven't checked it out yet. I'm also making some interesting music that you might like. Let me see. Let me show you this one. And this is something that I've recently started uh, being courageous to share it on YouTube. Uh, and also at the same time, the technical side of making the videos and the time that you need to spend on this, I wasn't finding the time, but now I've brought it more into my schedule, so I'm trying to share it more and more.
Love it.
Yeah. And maybe it's a little bit too loud. All right, so I invite people to check out Eirlys. I said it a little bit better this time, I guess. I
Yes.
hope.
And you.
And
And
also check. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, and check you out too. It's love the music. And I know how much time it takes to make the videos. That's why I haven't been sharing so many YouTube videos
Mm.
because I really find it challenging to be with the screen such a long time.
Mm.
And it kind of it's challenging to balance that with creating the music.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you can find my channel. Okay, you guys probably or you know where to find it if you're watching this. But yeah, you can also find me on Instagram. It's at @atmanrafa. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for your time, for your attention, your energy. Thanks to this is too, yeah. Thanks to Eirlys for being here. This was actually a great conversation. I really loved meeting you and talking. I hope we can do this again very soon uh, and go deeper into. Yeah, we touched so many subjects and we share many interests. Um, yeah, and I really like there being a space for these kinds of conversations so that people can, those who might feel alone or crazy because nobody around them understands them, i i really I really hope that they can find this and know that there is others who are different from them but at the same time similar to them, who who are getting together and having these conversations and spreading the love. So thank you so much for being part of this, Iris.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And I love to do all the talking too. And yeah, next time we can go deeper into, and I can do some light language maybe.
Yeah, that would be amazing. All right.
Mhm.
So, everybody, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.